Bet.
This is Frank, and I am going to be your host today. It is 11 a.m., top of the hour, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I have today with me Andy from IDIQ. And Andy, I'd like you to go ahead and take it away, and I'll ask you questions along the way. But Andy, say a few things about yourself before we get going.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy. Andy Polder. I work for Identity IQ. I've been with them now for about 6 months. Although the company's been around a long time, they just started some new marketing with the company, reaching out to individuals who own and operate credit restoration companies, credit counseling companies. This platform has been used by individuals for a long time, but we kind of changed the modeling around. So that's when I reached out to Frank. I've lived in Southern California my whole life. We're out of Temecula. We have offices in Chicago as well. But I'm hoping to share this with you and answer any questions. The model is exceeding our expectations, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But Frank, that's pretty much it. Does anyone have any questions about who I am? And then I'll be able to move forward.
No, that covers it. And the one thing you didn't touch on that we do is I want everyone to understand that we will be marketing this in conjunction with our credit sterilization program.
Okay.
So one of the most important parts of the sterilization program is to be able to have access to the credit report throughout the month. And so that's the important piece that we need. That the reason that we brought Andy in today is so that we can begin to market this just prior to marketing the credit sterilization, because you need this to pull your credit report to find out what we're going to have to sterilize on the credit. And that's the whole picture.
Okay. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Essentially what we do, and this is the model that I reached out to Frank about, is that as a recruiter for the company, it's my job to reach out and chat with and basically qualify individuals who we'd like to invite to become an affiliate with us. And there is no cost to this program. The affiliates are simply become part of our stable of affiliates, and we issue to them specific dedicated links that they use for folks to get in and use the program. But the program itself is very comprehensive. It's all three credit bureaus, all three, and we use the 3.0 Advantage 3.0 score versus FICO, and there's a reason for that. And all the trade lines, all the information that an individual needs to make sure that they know where their credit situation is to begin with, and where to attack to get that thing cleaned up, and where to keep moving forward in monitoring on a month-to-month basis. It's used in the credit counseling industry by folks who say to somebody, look, if you're going to hire me to do the credit counseling that you need to have done, I need access to your credit information, not only initially, but I need to have access to it every 30 to 45 days. And Frank, I understand you guys need to have it quicker than that, and we've built in that capability. So when they tell somebody that you didn't get into credit problems overnight, you're not going to get out of them overnight. There's a dedicated, specific strategy involved, but I need to have access to this information. If they can't provide it, then the credit counselor would say to them, I work with a company called Identity IQ. I trust them. I would encourage you to check them out, but I trust their format. By the way, the format is just beautiful. It's lined up, all three merged together. It's really easy to read, and we are essentially an aggregator of all three of the major credit bureaus. Now, this information is then used, and by the way, something else very important, I don't know if it'll work for you guys, but we've just introduced a new feature called the Scorecaster. And what the Scorecaster does, it allows an individual who has this platform to be able to go into it and on their own access the, let's say they had $1,000 and they want to pay down some debt. Well, the Scorecaster would direct them as to the best place to put that money to get the quickest return in terms of a bump in their score. Or let's say they had a goal of going from 650 to 720 over the next 90 to 120 days. It would tell them, based on their individual credit information in the reports, where the best place to go to attack and which lines to address, so they can get that, they can reach their goal in a faster manner. Does that make sense to everybody? Am I talking too fast?
No, that makes perfectly good sense. Actually, that's something that I was hoping that you had. I read about the Scorecaster. I didn't quite comprehend it, but that's exactly what we need, because
Yeah.
when we get a client that we need to bump up to 680, and we can do a lot of useless work
Right.
get to the 680, when if you could predict, if you do this, the end results will be that. Wow, that would
Yeah.
prevent us from wasting a lot of time. Judy, are you on the call today, Judy? Oh, Judy is our credit counselor, and she's
Okay.
the one who does talk with people. She is, she just moved, and she is in the midst of not having internet access until they get around to coming out there. So,
Okay. All
Judy,
right. Hey, you're recording this, so she'll have, and you can
yep,
always have her call me directly as well.
yep, okay.
Okay. So, and beyond that, the maybe I can even show you a sample. I'm going to try to do that. Show a sample of the report. We're really proud of the format. The format is, you guys don't copy my screen here, but so I wanted to bring up the actual sample if I can find it. Let's see, because it's really well put together. Here it is, right here. It's easy for people to read. This is a sample. And by the way, I own it myself as a client. Not only am I work here, but I'm an owner. So the credit report itself, it's got all 3 credit scores, all the information about current addresses and all this stuff that a credit report will show. Side by side, existing accounts, closed accounts, delinquent accounts, problems, balances, things of that nature. And then it'll go into the individual, and you guys are all familiar with this.
Did you find it yet, or are you just talking?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not appearing on your
Not
screen.
appearing on the screen now.
Oh, it says my screen share was paused. Let me see where Zoom share. Okay, it's not allowing me to show it. Anyway, this is just a little snippet of it.
Okay.
But just trust me that, and I will be happy to send out that sample to anybody. If it may, well, let's see. Yeah, so every time I try to show that, it's not showing it. But anyway.
Pausing the screen. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a really well formatted, easy to read, easy to use. It's user friendly, and so people can take a look at it and be able to look through what's available. Make sense?
Makes perfectly good sense.
Okay. Let me go back here then. Let me get out of here. Trying to share it again, but yeah, let's see what's happening here.
Find the green suitcase.
Yeah, I got that here. I shouldn't have tried to mess around with what I
Yeah, you shouldn't have.
It'll just take me a second. I'll get right back to it. Bear with me.
Okay.
I'm getting it up right here. Are you guys able to see it now?
No.
Okay. Let's see. I'm looking for. Maybe have to log back. I'm gonna hit back to the Zoom. I don't know how I did that, but
No, you're in Zoom. You're here.
okay.
You're here. So just see if you can find that green suitcase. Click on that.
Share. I'm hitting on the.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, you can see it again.
There
All right. Isn't technology wonderful? Anyway, so I've gotten through that. And that's where I left off. Okay, this is a nice marketing tool, but it doesn't allow you to interact. But the gist of the business is you are able to provide for your clients the exact information they'll need to make sure that they're doing what they need to do as far as their credit goes. And all the trade lines, all the information lined up. Now, Frank, you made it clear to me that it was important to be able to track the credit scores beyond the 30-day refresh. That's an option. I know it's, in other words, what they pay for with this program is a refresh every 30 days. However, there is an option to get a report within those 30 days if they choose to do so. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Now, is that the $9.95 option?
I think it's actually $17 to get a report midstream. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's not negotiable. Volume speaks of volumes, so to speak. So.
Okay. Well, I did see on the website something that was available, and it was a one bureau only, and it was a daily.
Okay.
You could check it daily. And
yeah, it says your internet connection is unstable. You can go in and look at your report every single day. I do that, but it only refreshes every 30 days. If you need a new report between those 30 days, you can get that. In other words, yeah, the report that I want to look at for myself was refreshed on 5/10. But if something changed in that report, I would have been notified. If something got paid off, if someone was trying to take advantage of using my social security number or using my personal address, I would be notified through the monitoring system, which is a part of this program as well.
okay.
So they're not only getting the credit, but they're also being alerted to anything that may be going wrong, or they need to be made aware of.
Okay. Well, that is definitely what we're going to need. We're probably going to want to look at it in about 14 days. And
Okay.
no problem. That's okay.
And it will be there. You know, the $14, if that's going to cause a ruckus, or whatever it is, the 17, I will, you know, if there's some volume that we
Not
can.
a problem. Keep going. Not
Okay.
a problem. Keep going.
And I don't know how much more of this is important here. We've got a great service support team beyond the fact. If you have technical issues, if you got something you need to bring us to our attention, we take our relationship with our affiliates very, very seriously. It's important that you guys get the support you need. If there's a question or a concern, we've got a good solid team behind us, so it's not just my knowledge you're depending on. If that were the case, you'd all be in trouble. We've got a lot of real smart people who have been in credit industry for well over 20 years who are working behind the scenes to make this happen.
Okay.
Frank, have I touched on the things that you were looking for? Is there something that I haven't that we talked about in the past that I haven't touched on as of yet?
No, I think you've pretty much covered it. So let's just recap. We talked about being able to pull all three, tri-merge all three bureaus. We don't necessarily need that on the first go around, but on mortgages, we will need a tri-merge. So that's something that I didn't even think about.
Okay.
The reason I got you on the call was so that we could talk about the credit sterilization and how.
Well, explain to me what you credit sterilization. Explain to me define that for me from your point of view. I mean, I guess what it is, but yeah, I'd like to hear.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. What we do is we go into the court system. We actually get a docket number that we're going to sue the companies that are reporting negatively on our clients.
Okay.
And so we make the reporting agencies understand that they're hurting our client. Our client can't get what they want. Might be $1 million building, might be a $500,000 boat, whatever it is. They can't get what they want because of the reporting, and they're injuring our client, and because of that, we're going to sue them.
Gotcha.
Well, that's how they make their money, by reporting negatively. But they don't make $10,000 per line item. That's what we're going to sue them for, $10,000 per line item. So consequently, they say, okay, we give up. We're going to take it off. They take it off, and then we put a court block on it so it can't be reported for another 7 years.
Okay. Very nice.
Now,
that's a trade secret I keep to myself. Believe me, I don't. That's your guys' model, and we want you to succeed at it.
And so now what we do is, before we return the information to the client, we need you so that we can look at the client's score not in 30 days, but in 14 days, to see, did we completely do everything that we said we were going to do? And is there anything else that we need to clean up? There might be something lagging or something,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's a
that we,
follow-up. It's a confirmation that what they said they were going to do is it getting done.
and then we do this in under 30 days. So if we can do it in 15 days, we're a hero. If we do
Right.
it
You
in
are.
35 days, we're a villain. So
Hmm.
that's why it's so important for us to be able to log back in and see what
Right.
what are the results of what we've done. But now wait, what you've shared with me today is so much more important than that, because now what we're talking about is the next step after cleaning up somebody's credit report. The next step is to get them a mortgage. And if we can have a tri-merge, all three bureaus, we're going to be looking at the same thing that the mortgage company's looking at. So we're going to be able to um, really help the client. But wait, something else that you told me about today that is very important is our fee is $2,500 for that. Not everyone can afford $2,500. And what you just told me about being able to, the scorecaster,
Yeah. That's so
a
huge.
scorecaster, oh my God, if we can just move some things around, sometimes we're just a little bit shy of 680. Maybe we're
Yeah.
20 points shy of 680. And if you use that scorecaster, we can move things around and get over the 680 number and get rid of some of the negatives that are bothering us. Um, we just increase the volume of our business tremendously.
That's cool. I mean, that's huge. Can you still see my screen?
We do, yes.
Okay. This, you can't really read it, but what this says is view current report. And then this little button below it, it says get new reports. In other words, if this were mine isn't due to refresh until June 10th. But if I wanted to get an updated report today based on it, I would click on this. It would charge me, like I said, whatever, I think it's $17. But a new refreshed report is available just simply by clicking that button right there.
And that's available to us and to the customer.
Well, here's the thing, and this is very important, and I don't want to even make any kind of assertion otherwise. Your customers are our customers, but we are vowed to all three credit bureaus to make sure we protect everyone's information. So Frank, if you or your folks want to work with an individual, it's between you and that individual if they want to give you their access information to their IDIQ. We cannot grant that to anyone other than the individual who signs up.
Yeah, I get that. I
Okay,
understand that
yeah,
completely.
yeah. Because the links, the way for them to get through you is for you to forward those links that I sent to you yesterday, and those links are tied to your company. And you can distribute those links to all the individuals who are listening, as many as you want, but it'll all funnel back to you. They'll go through the process. They'll sign themselves up. They'll set their own password. They'll set their own information. They'll have access to the report. But if the rapport you have with them is I need to have access to this information, then they will have to give you the information as far as the
I get
login.
it. I
Okay,
get it.
gotcha.
That's part of our contract, because if they don't do it, then we don't accept them as a customer. So
Exactly. There you go. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. You tell them I can't do the job you're hiring me to do if you don't give me the information I need.
exactly right.
Okay.
Well, now we've got about 5 minutes left, and
Okay.
so I would like to unmute everybody and ask anyone if they have a question. Let's just shout out your name, and then I'm going to go ahead and unmute all. So shout out your name, and then go ahead and ask your questions. You can unmute yourselves and just go for it. Well, we got Andy here. Don't wait till Andy's gone and then ask me. Andy's here. Ask him.
Hey, everybody.
David.
Hey, David.
Andy, hi. Thank you for your presentation. Andy, as we're affiliates, is there also any commissions based on further services they order through your website?
That's a very good question. I know Frank is, you guys are working out a working relationship with Frank. However, that, and I have talked to him about that. I'm going to defer that to Frank as far as what he wants to arrange with you guys.
No problem.
Okay.
And Andy, this is Jeffrey Dukes. Just a quick question. So
Hi,
this
Jeffrey.
week, hey, how you doing? Access to all 3 credit scores. Now, is there an unlimited amount of times we can go in and not have to ask the security questions as Credit Annual does, or do we need to keep the customer or client on the line and make sure the security questions are answered correctly?
That's a very good question. I know when I log in personally, all I have to put in is my access information, and it doesn't really ask me too many security questions, although I have been asked one time. I don't know that our algorithm or our formula is set up to ask the, specific security questions each and every time. But again, that information has to be provided to you by your personal client. But I don't know how to answer that other than in my personal experience logging in, it's never been a problem.
Okay, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Do you know the winning lottery numbers tonight?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure my team is working on it right now.
All right, get back to me, okay?
Yeah, I'll email it to Frank and he can distribute it to you guys. Oh, funny.
That's what I love about my team. They're so on point, you know?
Yeah, well, they want to win the lottery like the rest of us. That's the California retirement plan. None of us are preparing for retirement. We're just waiting to win the lotto, then we'll quit.
I see.
Then we need to gift it to each other. Therefore, the IRS doesn't take a big, huge chunk out of it.
Exactly. We got to structure it properly. Yep.
Okay, well, we are right at the quitting time, so I want to say thank you for everyone that did make it today, and this will be recorded, and we will go ahead and share it with those who couldn't make it today. I want to give a special thanks to Andy for getting up early in the morning.
My pleasure.
Presentation. And I want to ask you, Andy, if you would come back again in the future if we have another.
Absolutely, Frank. I'm at your disposal. Now that I know that I can get my information on screen rather than just me blabbing about it, I think it's kind of important. See if there's other information I can get up there too to walk through. It's a little bit more interactive. I can show them. Yeah, but to answer your question, I'll make myself available. Just give me 24 hours notice.
All right. And with that, I'm going to say thank you. And thank you, Andy. And thank you, everyone, for showing. God bless. Have a great day.
God bless you too. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.